Hi friends, this is Ribino. I just thought during this global lockdown, what do we do? Except watching news, of course. Uh, we can read, watch documentaries, read more, learn more, and upskill ourselves at this point of time. And at the same time, keep ourselves safe as well as our friends and family safe, and all of humanity safe if we are at home. And hope is all we have at this point of time, and praying for the world to heal itself fast. So looking at it positively, it's a great opportunity to upskill ourselves and keep our minds open to change. So today we are going to look into this book which is called Learn to Earn by Peter Lynch and John Rothchild. So who are these people, Peter Lynch and John Rothchild? So, as they mentioned, Peter Lynch, he's a mutual fund superstar. He's one of the superstars of mutual fund investing. He was one of the superstars in the 90s. And the co author, John Rothchild, he used to work as a financial columnist for the Time and Fortune magazines. So, Peter Lynch, he used to manage Fidelity Magellan Fund, which is one of the best, was one of the best performing mutual funds in the 90s, and he was the fund managers. He used to look after it. So, he has written two other books, one of the bestsellers being One Up on Wall Street, and which we'll look into later. So, basically, that's about the authors, and I've researched about them. They are doing really well. They have grown to so actually whatever learnings are there in this book, they've actually implemented, and they're one of the richest people. They have made their fortune by investing. So what does it say? It's a beginner's guide to basics of investing and business. That's what's written on this, and it gives you a gist about how do you start investing. um, so the contents of this book, that is this, if you can see this, and the contents, the introduction, it starts off with a glimpse into capitalism, and at the same time tells us how to save and to invest money so that we become prosperous slowly and gradually, or slowly and steadily with time. It's not a guide to become a billionaire instantly, but probably a guide how to build wealth gradually, and at the same time enjoy the process of building wealth. So it tells you not to always run out and buy stuff instantaneously, or buy things which are not required. It tells you how to invest whatever spare money which you have into stocks, shares, bonds, mutual funds, and so on. So mainly, if you're a young person, or you're just starting off with your career with a job or a small business, it mentions to invest or start investing in shares either via mutual funds or via direct share purchases. So that is what the introduction is all about. It explains also about the different companies, how companies or corporations or conglomerates came into existence, how they were formed, how it was and it is still formed, the companies, how they are incorporated, private and public companies and corporations. So that is what it explains in the introduction. Then it gives a short history of capitalism, the first investors, entrepreneurs, the start of the financial system, economics, the first millennials, start of stock trading and then share trading, American inventors, the formation of railroads, railways as we call it, and the start of commerce, start of industries, growth of national brands, and formation of the stock exchanges. So basically, it's a continued process of how the first settlers came into America, how they invented different things like the railroads, the industries, machinery, and how they built a prosperous America, which is as of now. And it mentions the start of share trading. So it gives you the detailed structure of how everything evolved. The small startups evolved into bigger companies, and the bigger companies, which are industry leaders as of now. The second part, it involves the basics of investing. That is how, when, and where to invest your saved money. The pros and cons of investing in different things. Why you need to invest for the long term, because the long term it reaps you more benefits. And why are mutual funds a better option or a safer option if you don't have the time to research on stocks on your own. It's always a better option to go for mutual funds. And why an early start in life is always awesome. So earlier you invest, or earlier you start investing in different shares or mutual funds or bonds, it's always better. And it teaches you how to pick your own stocks or shares, and finally how to grow your wealth. So that's what the second part of this book tells you about. The third and fourth part, they mention the life cycle of companies from a small startup to a mega corporation or conglomerate. It also mentions a small history of big companies, how the big companies came into existence. They were when they started off, they were a tiny unit, and how they grew their business. So that's in the third and fourth part of this book. And basically it tells you how the companies evolved to become the industry leaders which they are today. At the same time, it also gives you information about companies which went bust, who were unable to manage the money well. So it gives you the pros and cons of investing in good companies and bad companies. It mentions what does a bull and a bear in the stock market terms, what does it actually mean. So it gives you the fundamentals of the stock market or the share market. It mentions about different types of companies in different sectors which are doing well. Also, it tells you about how to research on company fundamentals before you invest in them. So basically, it tells you the fundamentals of investing and how to grow your wealth. So that's the third and the fourth part. And finally, it gives us what stock picking tools to use while investing. But that, because this book was written in the 90s, 95 and 96, I suppose, the year of publication. So that's like ages back. So at that point of time, the stock picking tools, they relied more on telephone and magazines and the actual share market people. But as of now, you have super fast internet and computers to help you out with that, and you've got a lot of stock picking tools or applications which are available on the Android or the Apple App Store to help you with stock picking. And finally, the book concludes with how to read and understand balance sheets, the financials, the economics, and the account part of reading balance sheets. So overall, it's a very fine balance between the introduction of capitalism, the growth of companies, the growth of trade, the growth of businesses, how inventions improved lives, and in short, how capitalism is what it has become as of now, and how the lifestyles of people changed, and how people can create wealth even when they are not running those companies. They can invest in those companies and become a small part or a shareholder of that company. So it explains you about that. So that's something which I really liked, and it's explained in a very simple way. And so even though the book seems very technical, I'll assure you that it's not boring. It's not, as I found out after reading page to page. I've actually read this book page to page. and it seems very interesting. It takes a bit of time for you to get started off with, because it gives you in-depth detail about the start of capitalism. But once you start it, it's really interesting, and it's a very interesting read for all age groups. It has a purpose for all age groups. It explains stocks and shares in a very interesting and simple way. It's a good business read, a good read for college students, for working men and women, for people who want to start investing and don't know how, for startup owners and entrepreneurs, and people who just want to invest. It's a good book for them. And to you, my book loving friends and readers, for you, whatever is a good read is a good read, and that's the same with me here. Whenever I find a book and I start reading it, it always increases your knowledge. So I never get fed up with reading books. So that's about this book. Hope you liked the information I have given, so that you can probably go ahead and read if you like business books or books related to investment. So basically the plan when I started off this video was, I've come across a lot of videos wherein they give the best 10 books to read, or the best 15 books to read for business or entrepreneurship, but they don't give information about what is there in the book. Because if the content is not interesting, you might not waste your time to check it out, because there might be a lot of people who don't have the time or don't have the liberty or the luxury to read a lot many books. So for them, if you're able to give, or if I am able to give information on the contents, it would be something of a help to everyone. And probably they would be able to select better books to read according to their profession, to their work, or the business which they are into. So that's the reason why I started off with this video, which would give you in-depth or basic information on the contents of each book. And just to inform you, this is the second book which I'm reading, and also a third which I'm reading parallel to this. So this one is Screw It, Just Do It by Richard Branson, one of my favorite entrepreneurs. I was always interested in reading about Richard Branson, and always admired him as a adventurous entrepreneur. And I think there are very few entrepreneurs who are like so adventurous as Richard Branson. Possibly he can do anything for business as well as for adventure. He's one of the mavericks in business, and that's why I'm reading this. And this one is the Everything Store, which is by Brad Stone. It gives you in-depth information about Jeff Bezos and Amazon. So both of these are cult figures in the world of business. So hopefully I'll be able to give you more details once I've read this in depth. I'll share you the contents of both these books in the next upcoming videos. So if you like this video, do click on the like button and hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel, to let me keep you updated on the best of books in business, self-development, history, travel, basically everything in fiction and non-fiction. Thanks, and keep watching. Have a wonderful day. See ya. Bye-bye.